All right, so we're talking about short-term Jade lizards. It's a little harder to do in SPX, but you can buy a wing and basically make it into a Jade lizard in terms of defining risk, but we're going to take a look at that here. So obviously in the morning, you got a ton of liquidity SPX. We've done various strategies from put spreads, call spreads, iron condors. We've covered it all. We're now getting into the spicier trades, the Jade lizards here. Jade lizard, it's basically a skewed iron condor. For the most part, nobody's really trading naked SPX short puts. I just don't think it's a very capital efficient way to trade. And there's probably a very small amount of people that even do it, if ever, because you can just reduce your buying power by buying a wing really significantly here. So we're going to be looking at a really wide put spread to a tighter call spread as a Jade lizard here. So today we're going to look at the bullish to neutral strategy we call the Jade lizard and give you a little bit of stats on that. So let's do it here.
I like Jade lizards. I mean, I know Liz and Jenny get credited for
the creators.
There are some Taiwanese sources that say Tony from Mexico was instrumental and didn't have a mic or a camera in creating this too. So let's give him a little bit of props too. But it kind of makes a naked put, which at all-time highs I don't think is scary if you put any on.
No.
But in past markets where markets go both ways every once in a while, the Jade lizard gave you a little bit more of a cushion than just the naked put. Remember, I know you're going to go through it in just a second here, but it's collecting more premium. The only problem with the Jade lizard, and it's not really a problem, if the market moves in one direction, if you're putting it to the call side, means short a call spread, short a put, the put's the heavier part. If it moves quickly, you don't get the bang for your buck because that vertical spread starts to expand a little bit. But if it's a slow inside the expected move up higher, it really gives you a nice little boost. And if it goes slower down, it really gives you a little bit of a cushion. I like Jade lizards when I'm on the fence for a bullish trade. You know what I mean?
For sure.
For all-time highs, I'd be looking at Jade lizards if I was still bullish on a stock.
For sure. Neutral to bullish.
Neutral to bullish, yeah.
So here we're going to be doing 7-day Jade lizards with short strikes at the expected move and either 20-point wide for the wings on the put side. We're going $20 wide on the puts, $5 on the call side, $30 wide on the put wings, and then $10 on the call side. So wider, a little bit wider spreads there. For winners are closed at 25 or 50% of the max profit, with trades being checked at the end of each trading day and then every 10 minutes throughout the day of expiration. So we're looking at end of day and then the day of expiration, we're using the 10-minute data. So we're not doing these. There's going to be a little bit of variable here because we're not getting the 10-minute data intraday. It's just too much to look at there. So we repeated the analysis with the beginning trades at 5 days and then 10 days for the comparison. So we're looking at 7-day, 5-day, and 10-day. And then all these trades are assumed to execute at mid price, which is about as good as we can get here.
That's correct.
So the $5 wide call spread with the $20 wide put spread closed at 25% of the max profit. That's what we're looking at here. Very high win rate. Again, this is a bullish strategy in what has been a bullish market over the data set. So it's certainly going to be a positive outcome here. Like this is a good trade for sure. The interesting part is that you have the amount of days that you're in the trade relative to the P&L. The ones where you're starting with 5 days, you're getting the average P&L higher, and you're also getting out of the trade sooner, which sort of makes sense because it's a shorter duration trade. It's going to move faster here. The frequency, though, that you have to hold this to expiration, the 5-day expiration, is the highest of the group. So your winners, you're taking off very quickly,
right?
But there's a lot of trades that you're holding until expiration here relative to the rest. You can see if you're starting this 10 days out, you're not holding this until expiration. and you're going to be further out of the money. So you're probably getting tested a lot less. Your losers are probably a smaller, your deviation of P&L is probably smaller relative to the 5-day, which is going to have a wider distribution, I would guess. So it just goes to show that the shorter duration is going to move faster, but a lot of them you're also going to end up holding until expiration.
All right, good. I mean, this is very encouraging. Now, you can look at as a buying power being relatively high on a naked put, right? I mean, in a margin account, it's not going to be so significant. But since you're doing this is all in 7 days, right?
Yeah.
So since you're doing this in 7-day, for those who are like in an IRA type account that are using options to try to maximize their return, and you're doing this in 7 days, you could go out and buy that put down below. Because remember, in 7 days, you're going to be able to reduce your buying power on this exponentially because there's not that much time left to the overall trade. And you'll be able to buy that put and not use as much buying power. That would be something to look at for the crowd that has a smaller sized account, maybe even for Johnny trades or something like that next week, if we remember.
For sure. And I think this kind of shows you, too, the 7-day is better than the 10-day.
Yeah.
The 10-day is going to take a little bit longer in the trade. The relative amount of them that you're holding until expiration is basically the same. You're getting essentially the same win rate, the same average P&L. So like 7 days is kind of where you cap out. You kind of got your 5 or 7 day is really the spot here.
Right. Very good.
Next one, please. So we're looking at the $5 wide call spread with 20-point wide put spread. And these, as you widen out the put spread into a bullish move, you're going to get higher numbers for P&L. That's what you're seeing here. Win rate, all about the same. Average P&L increases as you get shorter duration. Your average trading days in the trade gets shorter as you get shorter duration. But the frequency of holding them until the day of expiration is also going to increase. And again, you can see here, the 7 and 5 day are kind of the spot. The 10-day is really not the one to use here because you're going to be holding it a lot longer on average, and your P&L doesn't really change. Like the P&L doesn't really there's not much to add. If anything, from here, you actually don't add much from your average P&L going from 7 days to 10 days. It just makes sense to do this either 7 or 5 days. That's the spot.
Correct.
When we look at $10 wide call spreads with $30 wide put spreads, so now we're widening out that call spread a little bit, you're actually getting better average P&Ls. It tells you that, the widening out of the call spread isn't necessarily hurting you here as long as you have a wide enough put spread. Win rates high across the board. Again, you actually see a little bit of a flip. But that 5 to 7 day is probably still the spot to be. The $10 extra profit that you get, is it worth holding the trade 3 or 4 more days extra on average? Probably not. It kind of still goes to the fact that you probably want to stay in that 5 or 7 day range. It's where, the numbers are good. And the important part of being out of that trade is the most optimal.
Yeah.
Being able to cycle that capital into something else.
I mean, this supports just about everything that we talk about going wider. This is with defined risk, obviously, $10 and $30, but going wider, using a little bit more buying power, less contracts you could add to this because you just went wider, right? Like if people were thinking about maybe ramping up with more contracts on the last 2 slides, because it's such a shorter dated trade, you might think about widening out your strikes. It seems to be a lot better on that. And again, no WDC risk to the upside or anything else like that because you have defined risk trade here.
I'm a glutton for pain. I'm selling E-minis here.
Up at they just traded 7,300. I don't hate it. Volatility actually uptick very, very small here, but there's really nothing that indicates we should do anything. But
this feels like the stupidest trade of all time. That's why I love it.
I agree with you. I mean, when you have a 50 handle move already and the expected move is closer to 20, I love the play. I think it's something that you'll look to manage quick enough. here, right?
Just like everything else.
Just like everything else.
I mean, like, you got to manage stuff quick. If it works, you take that money and run.
It's just a trade. It's not a marriage proposal.
No, definitely not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good job out of you.
I think I got to sell some calls against my gold position here into this rally. I have some GLD calls in June.
GLD has had itself a nice little rally here. $2.85, almost a 0.75% move.
So, did we look at this one? No. $10 wide with 30-point wide put spread closed at 50% of the max profit. You're obviously going to increase your average P&L. Days in the trade is going to be longer across the board, but you can see again, it's the same story. The 7 and 5 day, that's the spot you want to be on these.
Yep. That's where you want to be. Seems pretty definitive.
Yes. Couple takeaways. So the Jade Lizards held up well, and when the winners were taken as early as 25%, trades could usually be closed and the capital redeployed before they even reached 0 DTE. So that's one of the things with a lower profit target, you're going to be able to cycle through these trades a lot quicker. Staying for 50% of the profit meant staying in the trade, staying active through the expiration of that trade. It's a caveat, right? So you want to be out of these trades quick enough to redeploy that trade. If you're waiting a little bit too much, it's not going to give you as much bang for your buck as it will cycling out of these trades. It goes with everything we talk about of like not trying to take every penny out of every trade that you get, because you want to close that trade and redeploy it into a higher opportunity position. And that's really what we showed here. Using wider legs also brought home more total profits, but about in line with the increase in buying power. So making the two approaches similarly capital efficient. I think the one caveat there is the wider spread. You obviously was a little bit faster moving, and so you were out of that trade a little bit easier. Jade Lizards have long been an effective way to pair a bullish outlook with the belief that implied volatility overstates the realized volatility. So now the efficiency paired with short-term option markets lets traders put them to work in a matter of days rather than weeks. The Jade Lizard, probably an interesting take here. I think I wish we weren't at all-time highs. I wish I was doing this throughout the last month. It would have been quite the trade.